The champagne cork popped like a gunshot against the dock pilings, fizzing into the harbor while my wife's laughter rang too bright, too brittle. I stood on the deck of Second Wind, my retirement gift to myself after 30 years hauling freight up and down the coast, and watched Sarah hand the bottle to a man I'd never seen before. His fingers brushed hers longer than necessary. The sun bled orange across the water, and something inside me curdled. "Happy retirement, Captain," she'd said that morning, kissing my cheek with lips that tasted like someone else's mint toothpaste. The boat was gone by noon. Sold. Cash in her purse, a printed itinerary for a girls' spa weekend on the kitchen counter. She'd hugged me hard, whispered, "You deserve rest, not ropes and rust," and left before I could ask why the buyer's name was redacted. I called the marina. The new owner had taken possession an hour ago. No forwarding address. Just a woman's voice on the line, syrupy with apology. "Your wife said it was a surprise." The house felt hollow without the faint diesel scent that used to cling to my jackets. I sat at the table staring at the spa brochure. Ocean's Whisper Retreat, Couples Rejuvenation Package. Couples. My thumb smudged the ink where a second name had been hastily scratched out. Sarah's phone buzzed in her purse. She'd forgotten it in her rush. The screen lit up. "Can't wait to feel your hands again. Dock 7 Slip 12. Bring the red bikini." From Jay. I knew Dock 7. It was where Second Wind had been moored for 15 years. My boat. My sanctuary. Now someone else's playground. The drive to the coast took 40 minutes, each mile tightening the knot in my gut. I told myself I was overreacting. 30 years of marriage, 2 kids, a mortgage, her father's funeral where she'd held my hand so tight my fingers went numb. People don't throw that away for a fling. But the red bikini burned behind my eyes. The marina was quiet, gulls wheeling overhead. I parked behind the bait shop and walked the planks, boots thudding soft on salt-bleached wood. Slip 12. There she was, Second Wind, freshly waxed. Nameplate already changed to Siren's Call. My throat closed. Sarah stood on the bow in a red bikini I'd never seen, hair loose and wild, laughing as the man Jay poured champagne into her navel and licked it off. His hands were on her hips, familiar, proprietary. She arched into him like she used to arch into me after long hauls, when I'd come home smelling of brine and longing. I must have made a sound. She turned. Her face went white, then red, then something in between, guilt and defiance warring in her eyes. "Tom." My name cracked in her mouth. "You weren't supposed to. Sell my boat." My voice came out gravel. "Or screw the dockhand on it?" Jay stepped forward, chest puffed. Early 30s, gym built, the kind of tan that comes from leisure, not labor. "Hey man, this isn't." "Shut up." I didn't look at him. Couldn't. Sarah's eyes were pools of everything we'd built and burned. "How long?" She swallowed. 6 months. 6 months. The new engine I'd installed in February, she'd cooed over it, said it purred like a kitten. The weekend I'd spent sanding the teak while she ran errands. The nights I'd fallen asleep alone, her side of the bed cold, her excuses thin as tide foam. "I was going to tell you," she said. "After the retreat." I thought. Distance would make it cleaner. Cleaner. I laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "You sold my retirement for a weekend of facials and fraud." Jay shifted. "Look," she said, "you were done with the boat. Said you wanted to travel." "Travel?" I stared at Sarah. "You told him I wanted to travel?" Her silence was answer enough. The Coast Guard cutter appeared then, silent as a shark cutting through the dusk. Red and blue lights strobed across the water. A voice boomed over the loudspeaker. "Siren's Call. This is the United States Coast Guard. Prepare to be boarded." Sarah's face crumpled. Jay swore, scrambling for pants. Turns out the buyer had paid with a cashier's check from a flagged account, part of a smuggling ring the guard had been tracking for months. My boat, my Second Wind, was now evidence. They'd followed the money straight to Dock 7. Sarah tried to run. Slipped on the wet deck, bikini top snapping loose. Jay dove overboard, but the current was against him. The guard fished him out like a hooked bass. Handcuffs glinted under the floodlights. I stood on the dock, watching them lead her away. She looked back once. No tears. Just a question in her eyes. "Why didn't you fight for me?" But I had fought. Every overtime shift, every storm I'd navigated, every night I'd come home to her smile. I'd fought with love, with loyalty, with the slow, steady burn of building something lasting. She'd fought with secrets and red bikinis and a stranger's hands on the wheel of my life. The cutter pulled away, sirens call in tow. I stayed until the lights vanished, until the only sound was water slapping wood and my own heartbeat, loud as a diesel engine. Later, the investigator told me Sarah had been laundering money through the spa retreat. Small deposits, gifts from clients who weren't clients at all. Jay was her courier. The boat? Collateral. A way to move cash offshore without raising flags. She'd planned to leave me penniless and adrift. Instead, she left in cuffs. I bought the boat back at auction, repainted the name myself letter by letter, until second wind gleamed again under the sun. The first night alone on the water, I opened a beer and toasted the stars. Betrayal tastes like salt and rust. But the sea forgives nothing, and neither, I decided, would I.